Hello, I'm Paige Hasagawa.
I'm Greg Clary.
I'm Ryan Bullard.
I'm Regina Adams.
And we did our project on the Prescott Pines ropes course. Prescott Pines is a Christian camp that hosts several events throughout the year, and they have several outdoor camps for 4th to 6th graders, and they offer a lot of activities, but something that they don't have that they do want to have is a ropes course for them that they can go on safely.
Okay. Our main stakeholders are the people who own Prescott Pines, 4th to 6th grade students, and the maintenance staff that will be taking care of the course.
So our different requirements and criteria for our project is that the kids must remain no more than 10 feet above the ground, which just means their feet to the ground should be like no more than 10 feet. And then we can't have more than 3 trained staff just because of the camp's like limitations with staff. And then it has to be securable, so nobody can access it after hours and go on to it. And then the criteria is it has to be engaging, it has to be a learning experience and kind of foster some sort of team building experience. And then it has to be appropriate for our age group, which is 4th through 6th graders. And then it has to be built within trees on the campgrounds. And then also the obstacle choices. So we have different obstacle choices. We kind of made a decision matrix, which is featured on the right. There's the obstacles, which are wall, tires, tight wire, log tube, balance beam, wall with a hole, swinging bridge, rope nets, and spider web, and then our ropes. And the reason we didn't do a wall is because the camp already has one, but then we did do the other ones that score pretty high. So our tires, our tight wire, our log tube, our wall with a hole, and then our rope nets and spider web. And we kind of judge this based off the appropriateness for the age group, how much fun they're going to have on these obstacles, the level of challenge they provide, safety, the team building factor, and then fear factor. And fear factor basically just means like how the kids are going to react. So if they're going to have like a sense of fear, but still being safe.
So half of our group went up to visit the Prescott Pines camp and draw the initial rough sketches of a bird's eye view of the camp. And that's seen on the right-hand side there. The circles represent the trees, and the group measured the approximate distance between tree to tree. And this was very useful for when we were planning the course because the distance told us what kind of obstacles we could put between the trees, and it told us kind of how much space we had to work with. And this was a really great step because it showed us the structure of the obstacle course without us actually having to be there, and that was able to help us make a CAD model. And on the bottom left hand side there, you see you enter at the top and you complete a whole clockwise rotation, and then you exit the same way that you enter.
So here we have our CAD model, and it just shows the different obstacles that we want to have. So like mentioned before, we have our we have our big picture like right on the left, and then we have our like a little entry point to start the ropes course. And then we have tires, we have the wall with a hole, then we have a platform that's kind of acts as a buffer zone between the two sections of the rope course. Like after the wall with the hole, we want the kids to kind of have an area to stay so that the ropes course doesn't get too crowded, because our community partner only wants one kid on each obstacle. And then we have a little crawl space with the logs, and then we have a tightrope right here, and then a spider web or like a rope bridge.
So when we were talking with our community partner, Jim, the two things he really wanted this course to do was encourage kids to do what he referred to as challenge by choice, which is a child choosing to challenge himself or herself. So an obstacle may be difficult at first, but ultimately progressing through the obstacle is the choice of the child. And the second one is experimental learning, and that's just testing what kind of works and what doesn't work for the individual child. And then the next step for the ropes course, whether it's this group remains the same or in people switch off, is next semester people should begin physical prototyping. We've established a CAD model, we have some sketches, and physical prototyping would be useful whether it's printing out the CAD model with 3D printers or cardboard prototyping. And then another thing people should focus on is a harness system. We've begun discussion of a double carabiner type harness system, but that can definitely be more elaborated on because we haven't gone as in depth into that in this semester. And then lastly, something people could focus on is the safety and the durability tests of all the obstacle courses.
Thank you. Is there any thoughts, feedback, or questions?